They loved each other more than life, and disastrously did not suit each other. This love couldn't last forever, or could she? We'll never know anymore. You are a part of me. You are deep in my heart, so deeply that you've really become a part of me. Frank Sinatra sang Velvety for Ava Gardner, the best woman in his life. She looked at him with the green eyes of a cat. They are just made for each other. No one would have believed that a few hours ago Frank was grabbing a gun. I'll kill the bitch. And Ava was throwing the engagement ring out the window, and that they started quarreling as soon as they got out of bed. The problems never started in bed. The problems started on the way to the bathroom. They say it was love at first sight, from a meeting at the premiere of the movie Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. Sinatra said, "I just lost my head. It's like she put something in my glass." But at first glance, it happens only when people are similar in the main and lock onto each other with childhood memories, emotional traumas, resentments, and dreams. Frank was born into a family of poor Italian immigrants, worked part-time as a sports reporter, showman in restaurants, played trumpet in a jazz orchestra. He is credited with mafia connections. It seems that the gangsters called him the Voice. Our Voice can even sing a phone book. Incredible talent, a little luck, and now Frank has a contract with Columbia for 10 years and an income of $50,000 a year. He married Nancy, a girl from his immigrant neighborhood, his first love. Ava's story is the story of an American Cinderella. I was born into a farming family. I ran barefoot all my childhood, and then I often remembered. The heels were like the sole of boots. Apart from the Bible, there were no books in the house, and Ava had never been particularly educated. Ava's mother worried about her bright, exotic flower-like beauty, forbade her to wear makeup, and forced her to wear robes that hid her figure. But you can't hide from fate under a hoodie. Ava's sister was married to a photographer. He took aim at her with a camera several times. The pictures caught the eye of the MGM film studio staff, and the girl was invited to Hollywood. Okay, so I'll go to Hollywood, marry the most important movie star, and be happy. And she married the star, Mickey Rooney, got divorced, dated the multimillionaire Howard Hughes. So much jewelry remained from this novel that you could even open a jewelry store. Remarried, now to the famous clarinetist Artie Shaw, and again unsuccessfully. But Ava knew that she would meet her man. It can't be that she didn't. Frank began by suggesting that Ava be friends, go to boxing together, cook Italian dishes, drive a convertible, and shoot a revolver at the moon. Ava enthusiastically played this friendship for about a week, and then fell into the arms of America's favorite. Damn it, I knew he was married. But he was so handsome with those delicate, boyish features, bright blue eyes, and an irresistible smile. Friends warned, Frank just doesn't know how to love. Journalists called Ava a slut. Fans turned away from Frank one by one. Everyone liked the guy who made himself and married his first girlfriend. No one liked the arrogant singer who abandoned his family for a Hollywood doll. Sinatra didn't care. He hugged his Ava and whispered, "All my life, I've been striving to become a singer. It seemed the most important thing. Now you're all I want." Ava came to Sinatra's concert. The audience greeted her with hooting and insulting shouts. Ava and Frank went on vacation. They were tracked down by secular reporters. Frank got into a fight with the most brazen. Ava couldn't stand the harassment, went to the hospital with a nervous breakdown. Sinatra wanted to get a divorce, but his manager said, "Get a divorce, but forget about the singer's career forever." He couldn't do that. Ava saw that her lover was hesitating, went to shoot in Spain, and started an affair with a shooting partner. Frank was furious and even tried to poison himself with sleeping pills. When he came to himself, he realized that he would feel bad without a scene. Without Ava, he would not be at all. He got a divorce and proposed to the woman he loved. It was like the finale of a beautiful fairy tale, a luxurious wedding in Philadelphia and a honeymoon in Miami. Then the usual life began, to which both were completely unsuited. Everyone wanted to play the first violin. Even Ava's friends, who couldn't stand Frank, admitted she never gives in. Even Frank does more for their relationship. She's too selfish. Bad times have come for Frank. America has declared a boycott against him. People stopped buying his records. There were no more sold-out concerts. Ava was doing well. The directors were tearing her apart. She never tired of reminding Sinatra about this, all the time saying that she was more successful, in demand, earning more. Therefore, do what I say. Frank looked to the side more and more often, even if other women are not as beautiful as Ava, but with them he does not feel like a rag. Ava was not one of those who would meekly tolerate infidelity. In response, she flirted with everyone she met. Family life turned into an endless scandal. One thing was good. Sinatra was looking for solace in his work and soon regained his former popularity, and with it a crowd of fans. Ava went to Europe, went to parties to distract herself. One day I decided to try my hand at bullfighting. The horse threw her off, and the bull hit her in the face with a horn. By this time, Ava and Sinatra had divorced, but he rushed to support his poor girl. And it was like that all their lives. It's tight together, it's boring apart. They were attracted to each other and immediately repelled. There was always someone by her side, and so was he, but they only loved each other. Frank got married 2 more times, but he didn't seem to notice that he was married. When Ava died at the age of 68 in 1990, Sinatra's daughter found him on the floor, sobbing and unable to utter a word. He still had 8 years left. A bottle of whiskey was placed in the singer's coffin, as he asked, and they wrote on the tombstone, as he asked, "The best is ahead." Some interesting facts about Frank Sinatra. Sinatra's musical sense was so subtle that among the musicians of an entire orchestra, he could determine who had struck the wrong note. And this despite the fact that the eardrum of one ear was damaged during childbirth. At the same time, he did not even know how to read sheet music and spent his whole life choosing music by ear. He was a real workaholic and slept for 4 hours a day. All his life, Sinatra tried to bring his work to perfection. Sometimes, when recording a composition, he realized after a few notes that his voice did not sound very good. Then he dismissed the musicians, demanding that they return the next day, but at the same time paid them full time. Sinatra fiercely hated one of his most famous hits, the song that won him a Grammy, "Strangers in the Night." In America, few people were loved and loved as much as Frank Sinatra. He has long been more than just the most popular singer of the century. He has become a myth, a legend, one of the brightest and most colorful in world culture. The Sinatra era stretched over half a century. He knew how to love and was loved.